Hello and welcome to News Roundup on UNILAG TV. I am Akimayo Tela.
I'm Tinwade Salami. First, the headlines. UNILAG soon to become hub of research in West Africa.
APC gives position on Buhari's controversial World Bank request.
From the health sector, monkeypox spreads to 11 states with 74 suspected cases.
And on business, a Papa gridlock, 70% of trucks carry empty containers.
On the foreign scene, New Zealand gets youngest 37-year-old prime minister.
And from the world of sports, Italian player gets 5-game ban for urinating on the pitch. Details shortly.
The Vice-Chancellor, University of Lagos, Professor Rahman Bello, says no stone is being left unturned in making the university the hub for researches, innovations, and collaborations in West Africa. This, according to the Vice-Chancellor, is part of efforts aimed at improving the ranking of the university as well as ensuring its internationalization for more global relevance. He made this known on Thursday while flagging off a symposium on internationalization and innovation in education and research put together by the university in collaboration with Aberystwyth University, United Kingdom. Professor Bello, who was represented by the Deputy Vice-Chancellor, Academics and Research, Professor Oluwatoyin Ogudikpe, said UNILAG remains committed to researches and collaborations which would keep the university at the forefront in the Committee of Ivory Towers. The keynote speaker at the symposium was the Pro-Vice-Chancellor, Aberystwyth University, United Kingdom, Professor John Grattan. His presentation centered on internationalization of universities, exploring the global higher education trends and opportunities for UK and Nigeria collaborative framework, while recalling the experience of Wales and how access to higher education was demystified and made accessible to the indigent. Professor Grattan said Aberystwyth University, United Kingdom, has over the years carved a niche for itself in quality teaching and numerous researchers which are focused on changing adding value to human existence. He expressed the desire and readiness of Aberystwyth University to collaborate with the University of Lagos with a view to broadening its research and base and providing an avenue for Nigerian researchers to acquire more skills and training, thereby supporting efforts to address challenges peculiar to Nigeria, West Africa, and the entire African continent. Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, has advocated a synergy among all tiers of government, all student alumni associations, and the private sector as a way of ensuring proper funding and running of universities across Nigeria. Professor Oshibajo said this in Lagos at the 2017 Distinguished Alumni Awards of the University of Lagos Alumni Association, which held as part of activities to celebrate the 55th anniversary of the university. The Vice President, who is also a member of the UNILAG Alumni Association, used the opportunity to commend the University of Lagos for many feats and worthwhile achievements, especially the sustained vision of excellence by its successive administration in the university. Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of Council University of Lagos, Dr. Wale Babalakin, and the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Rahman Bello, bemoaned the present level of funding for Nigerian universities, describing it as abysmal. Dr. Babalakin, who was among the awardees at the event, emphasized the need for a pragmatic approach in evolving a more creative funding system for universities. The event, which was held at the Oriental Hotel, Lagos Island, featured the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Rahman Adebelo, Majority Leader of the House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, Senator Victor Udoma Egba, the Head of Service of the Federation, Mrs. Winifred Ekaname Oyoita, among others. The General Overseer of the Mountain of Fire and Miracle Ministries, Dr. Daniel Lukaya, got a recognition award, while sectoral Distinguished Alumni Awards went to Engineering Alumni Set of 1969 to 1972, the Law Class of 1980 to 1983, and the Akoka Axis of the UNILAG Alumni Association. Deputy Governor of the State of Osun, Mrs. Titi Laoye Tomori, was also on the occasion among the special guests of honor. Other highlights of the event were the unveiling of the prototype and fundraising for the 2 billion naira 500-bed space hostel to be executed by the Alumni Association with a view to addressing the acute shortage of students' accommodation on UNILAG campus.
The Pro-Chancellor and Chairman in Council, Federal University, Lokoja, Emeritus Professor Nimi Briggs, has charged every individual to support Nigerian universities in the onerous quest of exploiting knowledge for the transformation and development of the society and, of course, towards the good and general well-being of successive maternal generations. Professor Briggs stated this at the University of Lagos, where he was the guest speaker at the debut Abimbola Aina Omololu Mulele annual lecture in obstetrics and gynecology. The event saw the Vice-Chancellor of the university, Professor Rahman Bello, reiterating the institution's vowed readiness for collaborations and partnerships geared toward broadening the frontiers of knowledge with a view to adding value to human existence. Our correspondent, Benga Gbile, brings more on this event.
The maiden edition of the Abimbola Aina Omololu Mulele annual lecture was put together in collaboration with the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology of the University of Lagos. It held at the Julius Baja Hall of the university with the theme, Private Wealth for Public Good. How does it benefit childbearing? The guest lecturer, Emeritus Professor Nimi Briggs, examined medical and healthcare against the backdrop of its provision, maintenance and sustainability by the government and other relevant agencies, as well as the ability of a common man to access and afford quality health care in Nigeria. Emeritus Professor Briggs, who also highlighted the concept of philanthropy both as a religious and humanitarian act, described childbearing as a physiological activity which brings joy when successful and pain if either the mother or the baby or both do not pull through. He examined childbearing in Nigeria and decried the persistence in the high rate of maternal mortality, which is said has remained unabated since 1976, while commending the philanthropic gesture of the late Madam Abimbola Aina Omololu Mulele towards maternal health care. The guest speaker harped on the need for a renewed reorientation towards giving and impacting the lives of the downtrodden, the indigent, and the less privileged.
We must evolve a better governance. A governance that will attend to the ills of the poor. Governance that will know that the money that is kept in the coffers of the nation are meant for all, particularly the poor.
Earlier, in an address to welcome the array of guests and dignitaries who converged for the lecture, the Vice-Chancellor, University of Lagos, Professor Rahman Bello, who was represented by the DVC, Academics and Research, Professor Oluwatoyin Ogundipe, gave thumbs up to the family and relations of the donor for their genuine interest and deliberate commitment towards the advancement of knowledge in obstetrics and gynecology, as well as pharmacy, which brought about an endowment of 72 million naira to the University of Lagos as a legacy gift in her last will and testament.
It is important to call on all Nigerians to support education.
In separate addresses and remarks, the chairman of the occasion, Chief Dr. Oluyomi Fini, the chairman board of trustees of the annual lecture, distinguished Professor Babajide Alo, who was represented by Professor Akimbo, and representative of the donor, Emeritus Professor Darocha Afudo, all described the lecture as part of efforts to strengthen the strive for academic excellence, enhance research, and stimulate public discourse in obstetrics and gynecology towards enhancing child and maternal mortality in Nigeria. The donor, Mrs. Abimbola Omololu Mulele, passed on the 19th of May 2009. Our endowment effort extends to the Obafemi Awolowo University, OAU Ile-Ife, Osun State University, a Catholic seminary, and Catholic University in Abuja. For UNILAG TV News, it has been Benga Gbile reporting.
Vice-Chancellor, University of Lagos, Professor Rahman Bello says as the university prepares to metamorphose into a full postgraduate institution, distant learning will be its core area of strength. Professor Bello said on Tuesday while presiding over the matriculation orientation ceremony for the 2016-2017 set of students admitted into the Distance Learning Institute of the university. The Vice-Chancellor will congratulate the matriculating students and show that the university is poised to making the distance learning program as qualitative as its full-time program. Professor Bello therefore implored the newly matriculated DLI students to explore the peculiarity of their studies and put in their best so as to excel and graduate in flying colors. The oath of studentship had earlier been administered on the matriculating students by the Registrar of the University, Dr. Taiwo Ipaye, under the watchful eyes of the entire management team of the Distance Learning Institute, led by Chairman, DLI Management Board, Professor Rashid Ojikutu, and the Director, Professor Olukayode Ahmed. The federal government of Nigeria has on Thursday arraigned Senator Issa Misal before an Abuja High Court at Maitama area in Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, for making injurious falsehood against the Inspector General of Police, Ibrahim Idris, and the Nigerian Police Force. Misal, who was docked on a 5-count charge, pleaded not guilty before the Chief Judge, Justice Ishaq Bello, and was granted bail to the tune of 5 million naira with 2 sureties in like sum. Meanwhile, the embattled lawmaker who is representing Bauchi Central Senatorial District, after the charges were read to him, applied through his lawyer, Chief Godwin Obla, SAN, to be granted bail on self-recognition. Misal said he will be available to defend all the allegations leveled against him, adding that he appeared before the court voluntarily to face the charges. Misal further alleged that the IGP collects legal fees by way of security protection given to corporate organizations, eminent citizens, and oil companies running into billions of naira.
The billionaire kidnapper Chukwudumeme Onwuamadike, popularly known as Evans, has recently changed his guilty plea to 2 counts of conspiracy and kidnapping to not guilty. Appearing before Justice Akim Oshodi of the Ikeja Division of the Lagos State High Court on Thursday, Evans pleaded not guilty to the charges of conspiracy to commit felony with kidnapping under Section 411 of the Lagos State Criminal Laws and also to kidnapping. Both offenses were said to have been committed on the 14th of February 2017. Evans had earlier pleaded guilty to the 2 counts at his last court appearance 2 months ago alongside his group. And the fundamental right enforcement suit he filed before a federal court, Evans through his lawyer Olukoya Ogungbeje, had attached in an affidavit of urgency as assault to a court order directing the police to charge him to court immediately or release him on bail if they were not ready for prosecution. The alleged kidnapper has been in police custody since June 10, 2017. The ruling All Progressives Congress APC says President Muhammadu Buhari did no wrong, asking the World Bank to concentrate on development of the Northeast. The National Publicity Secretary Bolaji Abdullahi said that this in an exclusive with newsmen after a meeting of its National Working Committee attended by governors and legislators. It said that the request of the president to the bank was extensively discussed at the meeting, adding that Buhari did not make the request out of any bias. Abdullahi noted that the situation was worse in Borno, Adamawa, and Yobe, which according to him the president's request was not intended to divide the country against the other. The spokesman said that APC believes that as long as the Northeast continue to suffer devastation in representing the dark spot in the country's human development indices, there was need to direct special attention to it.
Now to health stories. The federal government on Wednesday disclosed that cases of monkeypox virus, which broke out in Bayelsa State a fortnight ago, has spread to 11 states in the country, with 74 suspected cases being examined. The Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, who disclosed this to journalists after the Federal Executive Council meeting at the State House, Abuja, said laboratory tests conducted in Lagos showed that 4 cases tested negative. He listed 11 states ravaged by the disease as Akwa Ibom, Bayelsa, Cross River, Delta, Ekiti, Enugu, Imo, Lagos, Nasarawa, and Rivers.
The Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, has urged Nigerians going on medical tourism to be careful and patronize only accredited institutions so as not to fall victims of organ harvesters. Adewale, while speaking to journalists after the Federal Executive meeting FEC on Wednesday, alerted Nigerians on the rising cases of illegal harvesting of organs by cartels operating globally. Professor Isaac said the government receives periodic advice from the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation and the National Security Advisors on the trend. The ministry had earlier issued a similar warning to the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA. The warning had come after the Egyptian authorities prosecuted 41 persons for illegal trafficking of human kidney. The Egypt Prosecutor General also issued names of 4 private hospitals in Giza area of Cairo involved in the trafficking. The hospitals are Dar al-Shifa in Helwa, Cairo, Al-Bashar Specialist Hospital in Fasa, Giza, Al-Amal Center for General Surgery in Mauritania, Giza, and Dar Ibn al-Nafis Hospital. There have also been reported cases in Malaysia, India, and China, among others.
And on the business news, as the search for solution to notorious Apapa traffic gridlock continues, stakeholders have pointed out that over 70% of the trucks waiting on the roads daily convey empty containers and that removing them would go a long way to resolving the problem. Meanwhile, the Lagos state government had earlier directed owners and operators of articulated vehicles and petroleum tankers to stay away from the city for now. Worried by the recent traffic bottleneck in Apapa, which spilled to other parts of the state and affected commercial and social activities, the government said the latest decision was geared toward addressing the situation. In an announcement in Ikeja, the capital, during a joint press briefing with members of the Association of Maritime Truck Owners, the state government revealed that the in-season traffic situations along the Apapa axis caused by the indiscriminate parking of articulated vehicles and tankers waiting to load petroleum products was affecting commercial activities in the city. On the foreign scene, New Zealand is getting a new government after a month of deadlock following elections, with Jacinda Ardern becoming the nation's youngest leader. Reports say the deadlock was broken when Ardern's Labour Party got the support from a small nationalist party called New Zealand First. At an inconclusive election on 23 September, the country's major parties failed to win control of the government. The development made New Zealand First leader Winston Peters an unexpected kingmaker. The election is the first time since New Zealand's 1996 introduction of proportional representation that the party with the largest number of votes has failed to secure power. The Conservative National Party, headed by incumbent Prime Minister Bill English, returned 56 seats in the election, while a Green and Labour bloc led by Ms. Ardern won 54. In a brief statement in response to the decision, Ms. Ardern said it was an exciting moment for her.
Popular social media Twitter is planning to impose news restrictions on pornography and hateful imagery as part of a renewed effort to tackle abuse on its social network. The U.S. company has also said it intends to review user complaints more quickly. The efforts are inclined in a leaked email from the company's head of safety, which was published by Wired. Twitter's chief executive Jack Dorsey had earlier said that he planned to announce a more aggressive stance against online abuse this week after Twitter was criticized for temporarily blocking the account of Rose McGowan, an actress who had accused Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein of rape. Harvey Weinstein denied all allegations of non-consensual sex. The UK government had also recently urged social media leaders to do more to tackle the problem and suggested Twitter and others would have to pay or levy to fund anti-abuse campaigning in the future. Twitter has confirmed that Wired's report is accurate. Its members include the Internet Watch Foundation, EU Kids Online, and the UK Safer Internet Centre. No fewer than 43 Afghan soldiers have been killed and 9 wounded after 2 suicide bombers in Humvee trucks targeted a military base in the southern province of Kandahar. Reports say 6 are still missing while 10 militants are also said to have died. 2 members of the security forces died in a siege and police headquarters in the eastern province of Ghazni. The Taliban said it was behind the early morning bloodshed. The attacks are the third and fourth major assault on the Afghan security forces this week. Defense Ministry spokesman Daulat Waziri said the camp was empty and all their belongings had been set ablaze during the attack. The 2 days earlier, Taliban suicide bombers and gunmen killed at least 41 people when they stormed a police training center in the eastern Afghan city of Gadez. Some 150 people were injured in the violence. The local hospital in Paktia province said it was overwhelmed and issued an urgent appeal for blood donors. The same day, at least 30 people died in car bombings in neighboring Ghazni province. Armored Humvee vehicle filled with explosives were detonated near the provincial governor's office before gunmen moved in. Afghanistan's army and police have suffered heavy casualties this year at the hands of the Taliban, who want to reimpose their strict version of Islamic law in the country.
And now to sports news. Barcelona coach Ernesto Valverde celebrated his first 100 days in charge, and Lionel Messi hit his 100th European goal as the Catalan giant swept aside Olympiacos 3-1 on Wednesday. Valverde has overseen a sublime start of 10 wins to go with a draw at Atletico Madrid last weekend in his first 11 La Liga and Champions League matches in charge. However, the trouble-free start to life on the field contrasts with a series of distractions surrounding the club. Valverde's men have coped admirably with the departure of Neymar, which provoked calls for club president Josep Maria Bartomeu to resign and the tense political situation sweeping Catalonia. In the first appearance at the Camp Nou since beating Las Palmas behind closed doors as a violence-mad referendum on Catalan independence took place in October 1, Barca were met with a largely empty stadium due to torrential rain in the hours before kickoff. A third straight win in Champions League, Group D firmly maintains Barca's place at the top of the log, 3 points clear of Italian champions Juventus, will beat Sporting Lisbon 2-1 in turn on Wednesday. And Barca also enjoys a 4-point lead at the top of La Liga.
An Italian midfielder, Giovanni Liberti, who was given a 5-match ban for urinating on the field in the direction of rival fans, will appeal the decision in the coming days. According to his club's Serie D side FC Torres, the 21-year-old footballer had denied the offense during last Sunday's game against rivals Sanis. Liberti allegedly urinated in the direction of the away stand and made obscene and vulgar gestures during a stop in play. According to report, the president of the club, which was based in Torre del Greco, said of Naples Antonio Colatino, however, blasted the decision in an angry post on Twitter, stating that the players had absolutely not done what was alleged. Said that Liberti explained he had been drinking water from a fountain before coming onto the pitch and had simply been tucking his jersey into his shorts.
Quite hilarious there. Okay, that ends the news on UNILAG television. I am Akimayo Aktela.
I'm Tino Adesalami. Thanks for watching.
Goodbye.